Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast is number 1694. The topic is mindset, and the title is You're Always Going to Be Tired. Do it anyhow. So very uplifting, very motivational speech today. It's just, this is something that I've had to wrestle with a lot in my life, and it comes up with a lot of conversations with clients, is just the fact that we're always tired. It is funny because I feel like there's those memes you see in social media where, I don't know, like the exact way it's related, but it makes me laugh, is they'll say like being an adult, like, is this moment, like when you find a good box, you're like, oh man, that's a good box. You're like, you have to be an adult. Because you're like, you know what a good box is. But one of the things that I find funny as being an adult is one day as a kid, like this is for most people, not for me, and I'll explain in a second. But for most people, they're going to say that one day they were kind of tired. You know, they woke up a little bit late. A little early. Maybe they went to bed late. They just had a stressful day. They just got tired. And then that just never went away. So being an adult is always to some degree of being tired. You're never not tired. You're just moments between being tired. But it's just always tired. For myself, what was interesting is I've always been tired. As long as I can remember, like I was a crazy kid, like I had some medical issues and some other things, but I was just super hyper and on a lot of medicine and whatnot. And then at some point in time, that transferred to me just being tired all the time. So I laugh because I feel like no one warned me that you're supposed to like stretch out your energy over your lifetime. Like you're supposed to like kind of partition that out. And I just spent it all. Like first, 6-7 years, I went nuts. Just used all of the energy, had absolutely nothing left. So I've always been tired. I fall asleep watching movies. I can't watch movies. Even when I was in movie theaters, I fall asleep in movies. When I would drive in the car, I would always fall asleep. I remember being 16 when I got my driver's license, my permit, and I didn't know how to drive, like how to get to a local town that was only 25 minutes away. Because for my entire life, I'd never stayed awake for that car ride. It sounds crazy. I was just tired all the time. We actually had a family member, I think it was on my mom's side, had like narcolepsy. She would just fall asleep even if you were talking to her. And my mom has complained about feeling like tired all the time as well. So maybe it's some kind of genetic thing. But I've always, always, always been tired. It's a joke in like my family and people around me that know if I sit down and I don't move for 5 minutes, I'm just going to be sleeping. So I always have to fidget, I have to move, I have to be doing something. I'm just always tired. And what I've wrestled with through the earlier part of my life was trying to get that to go away. I could sleep 10 hours a night, 12 hours a night, and I would still be sleepy. I'd still be tired. Or I'd find that I would have really good energy, but only for like 6 hours. And like maybe I get up at 8 o'clock, I have great energy, it's 2 in the afternoon, and I'm super tired, but I can't go to bed because it's 2 in the afternoon. So I just spend the rest of the day being very tired, and then finally go to bed at say 10 o'clock at night. I don't feel that my natural rhythm, my natural sleep rhythm matches a 24-hour cycle. So it's just weird. It's wild. It's something that I had and dealt with for a lot of my life. And I remember kind of coming to a conclusion in my mid to late 20s that it has helped me become more successful and more proactive in my life. It's helped me to better live the life that I want, was just to accept that I'm always going to be tired. Rather than fighting it, rather than saying, oh, I'm too tired to do X, Y, Z, so I'm just going to be tired and not do X, Y, Z. I just have to accept that I'm always going to be tired. Now, I have read every book you can read on sleep. I promise you. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos. I've researched the hell out of it. I have done so much, just research on, deep REM sleep and all these other things and sleeping conditions and stuff, because this is the way I am. Like, if I want to know something, I will read everything, learn everything, do everything I can. So I have made a past podcast about creating like a healthier sleep pattern. I believe it's podcast number 1149. Yes, it is. Okay, so it's a mindset podcast titled Creating a Healthier Sleep Pattern. So basically in that one, I sum up about 4,000 books and just tell you like the best stuff, coming down to like even like the temperature of the room and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff. So I sleep as best as I can. I eat well. I eat really well. So I'm like, this is my job. So I take care of my food. I exercise regularly. I have never missed more than 7 days of training in 24 years now, which is insane. So I sleep the best I can. I eat well. I exercise regularly. I've tried no caffeine for months on end. I've tried a stupid amount of caffeine, which obviously was not a good idea. So I use caffeine here and there. It's not the problem because I've researched that a lot and figured that out. But I control what I can control. I'm not going to bitch and whine about something and then not try to control it. So I control it as much as I can. And then I have learned to accept that the rest of it, the rest of being tired, is a normal state. And that's my norm. That's just the way it is. You know, if somebody is born with one leg, that's their norm. If somebody's born blind, born deaf, if they have an accident and they lose a limb, that's now their norm. So there are people who have worse issues than just being tired all day. Absolutely. So not whining, not complaining at this point. But I do understand it's something that is just, I have to decide as a normal state for myself. And I have to make the best decisions I can in spite of it. And you might feel that same way. I feel like a lot of people are tired. And because they're tired, they don't make good food choices. They don't get up and go exercise when they should. They don't make great relationship choices. Maybe they're moody. Maybe they're grumpy. Maybe they lash out at people. There's a lot of bad decisions we make when we're tired. And there are a lot of things in life that we have to do that are best for us, whether we want to do them or not. And your resiliency to continue to do those things gets worn down when you're tired. Being tired is extremely detrimental to the quality of your life. Extremely. It impacts how you feel. It impacts what you decide to do or not do. It impacts every area of your life. How many times have we had just, crap day, but we got good sleep and we felt better and we're like, oh man, sleep is so important. Because it was something that alleviated how tired you felt. If you were a high achiever, or at least an achiever enough to pay your bills, you're probably going to be tired a lot. That's something you're going to have an underlying feeling of, but it's something that you have to continue to make your best choices in spite of. You have to choose to make and eat the right food rather than the easy, convenient food. The best idea is to make the right food the easy, convenient food. That's a pretty good approach. But we do a lot of things. Like, we don't work out because we're tired. We're too tired to work out, right? We do a lot of things that, like, we make a lot of decisions, I guess would be a better way of saying it, that aren't in our best favor. They're not going to create our best life, but we make them because we're tired. When it comes to being tired, you're likely going to always feel some degree of tiredness. It is important that you take care of that as much as you possibly can. Try to manage as much as you possibly can with sleep quality, food, getting small amounts of exercise, which actually gives you energy. It sounds counterintuitive, but it does. Stress management. Oh my gosh, how much is that helpful? There's so many things that we can be doing that we do need to do. So manage it and take care of yourself as much as you can. And then with the rest of the tiredness, You just have to accept it. You just have to make the best decisions because they're the best decisions. You have to do what you're supposed to do, regardless of being tired. You're always going to be tired. Do the right stuff. Make the better choices. Anyhow. Now, that ability to deal with tiredness and make those best choices, that comes down to willpower, and willpower is a finite thing. You only have so much of it at one day. Now, you can build that over time, which I definitely would recommend that we work on that. But to recognize that I do only have so many best decisions in a day is very important. You want to streamline as many decisions as you can. That helps a lot. Like we said, talk about like eating well, sleeping well, getting a better sleep pattern is really helpful. There's a lot of good things you can do. And at times, when you can give yourself a little release from the pressure, a little reset, a little reprieve. I sleep in on weekends when I can. If there's a Saturday when we're not doing anything, I'll sleep an extra hour or two for sure. I'll take a nap sometimes if I can. Just it kind of depends on life and whether that's possible or not. I'll skip burdensome tasks. So if I don't have time to sleep, I'll actually try to reduce the other things that I have to do every day, whether I want to do them or not. I try to streamline those, try to minimize those to the fewest times per week. I try to do a lot of things that help me control how much of life you just have to do whether you don't want to do it or not. That allows me to make better choices in the areas that I want to be making better choices in, such as nutrition or training, like being more regular with exercise. So you can help yourself. And there are times when you can kind of give in and just, skip something or take a nap where you don't make the best choice. But you're doing it knowingly, and maybe you're only doing it, say, not like 10% of the time. So 9 times out of 10, maybe even 4 out of 5. How about that? 4 out of 5 times you're going to do the thing because you're supposed to do it. But 1 out of 5, you'll skip it because you're tired and you want to have a little bit of recovery, right? But in the 4 out of 5, that's a lot better than the 0 out of 5 or 1 out of 5 that we're currently doing, or even maybe the 2 or 3 out of 5. Can you make more better decisions more often? Right? Can you make the better decisions more often? Can you do the right thing more than what you're doing now? Even if you're tired, you're going to be tired anyhow. So you can be tired and eat the right food, or you can be tired and not eat the right food. You can be tired and work out, or you can be tired and not work out. If you'll notice that eating the wrong foods doesn't make you not tired, you're still tired. Skipping the workout doesn't make you not tired, you're still tired, right? Often, the thing we don't do because we're too tired to do it, by not doing it, it doesn't make us untired. We're still tired. So you can be tired and be progressing in your life, or you can be tired and miserable and unhappy because you're not progressing in your life. You're going to be tired either way. Be tired and successful. Be tired and making progress. Be tired and still make the better choices. Help yourself. Do work on self-care. That is extremely helpful. That will help you make better decisions more often. Build up your resiliency. Build up your willpower. Take care of your sleep. We said this podcast 1149. You can find that podcast on our website. We have a podcast player, and we have instructions on how to find older podcasts on our website. Also on our website for nutrition. You can go to Free Nutrition Education. There's a document you can download for free and write your own nutrition program to find out how many calories you should be eating, grams of protein, and whatnot. A whole bunch of stuff. So you can figure that out all for free. We have Stress Management Podcast. Podcast 1023 is a great podcast for stress management. The more stress you can manage in all areas of life, the better you will be able to make healthier and more appropriate choices for what your goals are. You have to take care of stress. The more stressed you are, the worse choices you will make. So, manage your stress better. And learn how to manage self-accountability. You have to learn how to actually parent yourself. That sounds weird, but it's a skill set that is going to help you immensely in life. Podcast 1375 is a Q&A podcast titled Learning to Parent Yourself. Great podcast. Because if you can hold yourself accountable and love yourself when you need it, but be tough with yourself when you need it, if you can learn how to manage that balance, that tough love balance, it'll help push you when you need pushed, but it'll help you be nice to yourself and promote yourself to be proactive rather than beating yourself down when you need some love, that tough love balance. These skills, managing sleep, nutrition, stress management, self-accountability, these skills will help you live your best life and be less tired. But you're likely to always have some degree of being tired. It is absolutely necessary to accept that being tired is going to be there. But you still need to make better choices. You still need to eat the foods you're supposed to eat when you're supposed to eat them. You still need to go to the gym or work out at home or whatever you do for exercise when you're supposed to do it. You still have to be kind to people who are in your life, who you want to stay in your life. Being tired is not an excuse for not being your best. It's an obstacle, but it's not an excuse. So I hope that you use some of the podcasts I mentioned, the free resource on our website for nutrition. Whatever you need, reach out and I'll help. My email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. But don't wait to live your best life for when you're not tired. You are always going to be tired. Just do it anyhow. Live your best life anyhow. Okay? If you need anything, reach out. Like I said, my email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. I wish you the best of luck. Just make the best choices. Do the damn stuff you're supposed to do, whether you're tired or not. Just do it. Shut up and do it. And you'll thank yourself later. If you like today's podcast or our podcast in general, please share it. The more people we share the podcast with, the more people can help. That's the whole point of the podcast. Just help as many people live their healthiest and happiest life as possible. Thank you to those who donate to support the podcast. It does have a high hosting cost on a bunch of different platforms and whatnot. So I appreciate the financial support. You can donate on our website if you'd like to. And then if you like the information we share in our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels, on Instagram and on YouTube. You can find us and follow us under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.